on part 2, day 2 of my mini cycle tour. I'll be leaving St Barnabus Church at Queen Camel, and I'll be heading to Bridgwater railway station for an evening train home to Bath. En route, I'll be visiting 4 South Somerset ancient churches managed by the Churches Conservation Trust. It's coming up. Okay, I'm just going to start switching everything off. I'll say good night. Good night. Hello, good morning. It's just gone 7 AM at St Barnabas Church. I'm still in my sleeping bag. Just put the light on. You'll see. It's my sleeping bag. Stained glass window, which is looking quite nice already. The bells have just rung 7 AM, so I'm going to get up, put a kettle on, have myself a coffee. I did get woken up a few times in the night, I have to say, because the bells go off every 15 minutes. They're not particularly loud, but they are constant. So I would say if you're going to stay here, probably bring some earplugs. It's already quite light in here without any electric lights on. I stayed out in the churchyard last night till about 11:45, just taking photographs and drinking my wine on that seat. And then I came in. When I switched all the lights off, the church didn't get completely dark, so you had quite a bit of light from outside flooding in there. There was actually floodlights as well, lighting the church up, so some of that was coming in. Here's all the lights, so let's see it all light up. I filled the kettle up ready last night. Let's get some coffee on. Bird song over to my right, and I've just got myself this seat where I sat last night with my coffee. You may see the sun's coming up behind the trees, and this is pretty much what I looked at last night as it got dark. All the lights coming out. Oh, it's 5 to 8. That's a road going by. It was a little bit busy as I came in last night, because as I dropped down off the hill where I'd been forced up onto because of that diversion, there's some traffic lights on the bridge, so you get sort of bursts of traffic coming through. So I don't think it's normally that busy. It's certainly not this morning yet. Just enjoying the moment here with my coffee sat outside. There's the bells, 8 o'clock. Just at the entrance to the church, by this wonderful bit of cobbled pathway, there's a plaque in the wall. Can't read it all. It says these cobbled paths were, I think it says, relaid 1986, is that? It's hard to read actually. And there's a metal plaque here, much easier to read. This wall was restored by the Queen Camel Heritage Trust, 1992. Clearly a lot of renovation work to make this look so nice. In the nave, on one of the stone pillars, there's some information about one of the entrances. It says, this portico was added to the south door between 1835 and 1855. And here is that portico of the south door. It's almost Grecian looking, isn't it? With the bell tower hovering over it. Further back in the churchyard, this is where the other Paul was coming last night for the allotments. So have a quick nosy in here. Ah, I see. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? And I've got my second cup of coffee sat at the other end of the churchyard. by this row of thatched cottages. And here's the route today. So that's the start there where I am, Queen Camel. I'll be following this big sort of loop round to Bridgwater there. And because I've got such a lousy working memory, I've just put everything on in detail. There you go, St Andrew's Church, Northover, 5 miles. Then it'd be St Mary's Church, Seavington, 19 miles. St Thomas Church, Thoroughbar, 31.5 miles. That's the one I went to previously. I just thought I had to rush that a little bit to get my train home. And then there's the fourth one, is the Church of No Dedication, Sutton Mallet, 50 miles. So it just helps me keep everything organised because I've got such a lazy man. The bells have just rung 8:30, so it's a reminder I need to get going. I've just locked the visitors' door in the chancel. The chancel this morning is actually quite light. That's the bells just ringing 9 AM. I'm all changed, ready to go. I couldn't remember if public access started at 9 AM or 10 AM, so I just opened the doors actually. That's the way I'll be leaving, through the nave. That's the public entrance. I will switch all the lights out before I go. I was just getting myself changed around here and Paul came in with his dog, lovely Winnie, and we just had a bit of a chat. He asked if I slept alright. He said he saw the door open when he was walking his dog. He thought I may already have left. I said no, I just explained I wasn't sure what time the public had access. He said no hurry whatsoever. It's been a lovely stay. Okay, one last bit of filming. I'll show you the nave entrance. A couple of things here actually. These inner glass doors. These lovely handles, look, in the Christian cross. And then look at the pattern on the other side. Psychedelic dragons. And that's it. Look at the thickness of that door. And the key. Paul showed me the key last night because he locked up before he left. And all the keys in here apparently go in upside down. So you've got to put this massive key in upside down. And as usual, don't wear a hat or sunglasses in there. I've got my rubbish tied to the back. There is a rubbish bin in there, but I just thought I'll take my own rubbish away and dispose of it at the first opportunity. And that's looking up at that amazing bell tower with 6 tons of bells up there. The heaviest bell peal in the world. Thank you very much for a lovely stay. Look, it even says, welcome to St Barnabus, here for you. Thank you. Looks like a lovely day. Let's get going. Day 2 for my mini cycle tour around South Somerset, visiting Churches Conservation Trust managed ancient churches. Even though we're heading over to that main road, I just have to leave on this church path, this lovely cobbled and restored footpath. Yeah, it looks like we're going up to that main road, heading left. As you leave the village of Queen Camel, on that fairly busy road, you turn off to the right, and this is the road I'm on now, nice and quiet. I'm just looking up on that ridgeline there, you can see all the traffic going along. That's the bit of the A303 I had to ride on yesterday. So my route came down by those trees and I should have come straight across and then came in this way. But of course the earthworks just prevented that. I had to go up to where those towers are and then drop down into the village that way. Coming up to the edge of Yeovilton Air Base. A couple of hexagonal pillboxes there, look. So this is the public entrance to the Fleet Air Arm Museum. Well worth a trip in there actually, been in there once or twice. Ilchester, it says the old Roman town of Lendinnae. 5 miles into the road and this is the first of today's 4 churches. So I came in from RNAS Yeovilton that way and this is the Fosse way. and I'll be heading up that way shortly. But here we are. Here's the entrance to the church. This little gravel area by a tree, up some steps, and there's the Texaco garage along there. Don't know, about 100 yards on the left hand side. That's where you go and ask for the key apparently. Okay, so you don't go in the Texaco garage, you go into that Italian Ilchester garage, and it's got lots of classic cars in there, and you see the girl in the office to the left. So here's the key. Okay, I've got the key on my cameras, my phone for get the web page up. Let's go and have a look at St Andrews, Northover. Up the steps, and then this is the entrance. The door at the back of the bell tower looks the bigger one, but that's not the public entrance. I don't think so anyway. It looks like it's this one down here. So this is the view you get as you approach from Yeovilton. There's a steel plate telling you it's St Andrew, Northover. When I collected the key, I wasn't sure if there'd be a deposit required or anything. You just literally sign your name in a book and leave a telephone number. And she did warn me, be a bit careful turning the key, because it has been welded, you can see there. And there you go. So I think that's the bell tower at the back. So this would be the chancel, again raised, down a few steps, and straight there's a stone platform with a wooden pulpit on it. And these wooden pews. All those what looks like hurricane lamps up there, oil lamps. That wonderful wooden structured ceiling. Quite light and airy in here actually, which is why I don't really feel the need for turning on any electric lights. And then at the rear of the nave is the font, and this must be the bell tower. See the holes in the ceiling where the ropes would have come down. It's a door up to the bell tower, I'd imagine. Oh, it's quite atmospheric as you get to the head of the nave and then you get to the chancel. This is bathed in a much softer light. There's an organ there. Oh, I'll sign the book. Last visitor was the 3rd. CCT. 6 months checks, 4 people. Gosh, so unofficial. Gosh, and before that, look, 8th of the 8th. From Cumbria, possibly on holiday. Always wanted to come in, yes. From the CCT website, it says about St Andrews at Northover, the overview, a church with ancient foundations. It says, just north of Ilchester, over the River Yeo, St Andrew's Church is a simple medieval church next to a farmyard. It was restored in 1878 by Charles Benson. Its site, close to a large Roman cemetery beside the fosseway, is of outstanding archaeological importance. An excavation of the mound on which it stands could well reveal the foundations of a Saxon minster noted in the Domesday Book, and perhaps reveal signs of an earlier pre-Christian pagan temple. Looking down towards the bell tower, it's quite amazing to think what might be underneath here. Thousands of years of history, possibly a temple. Okay, leaving St Andrews, back down to the Fossway, my bicycle, along to the Texaco garage to return the key, and then I'll be heading northwards. And there's my bike. My next port of call is St Mary's Church, Seavington. Heading north on the Frostway. On some quieter roads now. Cyclist just up in front of me. Sun's come out. This is Long Load Bridge crossing the River Yeo. Pass through the lovely small town of South Somerset, looking out for a sign for Seavington, because we're on 18.29 miles, so it's going to be within the next mile or so. But I'm suddenly on this lovely sunken lane. Gosh, look at the reinforcement there. And I've got myself a chicken salad roll and a Pepsi Max for my lunch. I'm about ready for it actually. Oh, the approach to Seavington is lovely. Just stopped to have a chat with the local back there. I pulled in to let him go. He pulled up, wound the window down, and we had a bit of a chat. I just said to him, "Is Seavington long here?" He said, yeah, that's where I live. I just sort of said, I was a bit concerned, so I might have overshot it and missed it. Just hear this roar of traffic. I'm guessing I'm going to be running alongside the A303, which is that busy trunk road. It's a motorway in orbit name. Looking out for the church tower, I can't see it. So I've just come in behind these trees. That's the road noise I can hear. That'd be the A303, which in effect is an old Roman road in places. Marguerite 4 from London down to Exeter. But I've just seen a sign, I think it's down that turning there. Seavington, St Michael. Seavington was signposted straight on at that bridge, but my GPS is bringing me down here, so we'll see. That's the lane I've just dropped down, this T-junction. So Parish Church up here. Still can't see the church. Oh, is this it? St Michael's Church. St Michael's Church. Surprised at that. The Diocese of Bath and Wells. So that comes down quite a long way. I've just dragged my bike up these steps because this is going to be my lunch stop. It's gone midday. How's that for a picnic area? First things first, let's have a look in the church. I've got my phone just to look at my notes. And this is St Michael's Church, Leavington. This would be so easy to miss just riding through, because I nearly missed it when I came down that junction. My GPS didn't send me down here. Thank goodness there's that parish church sign. Is there access? Yes. Oh, very nice and airy. Steps up to the bell tower, but or possibly the gallery actually. We'll see in a minute. Pews, visitors area, donation box. I'll be putting my money in there shortly. Stone font with a basic wooden cover. Look at these sculpted faces on the wall. And then no raised step, but there's clearly the boundary here between the nave. Oh yes, that is the gallery up there. And the chancel, the altar, tombs. And this is looking back. Very basic pulpit. Just going to go up the gallery and have a look. Another coat of arms above the door. Don't always get that, but often. Of course, is that a draft that's going to hanging up? It looks like it possibly could be. Let's go and have a look up here. Steep steps, climb with care. Oh, there's a handrail rope. Lots of flies up here. Yes,
Here's the pews looking down. Gosh, look all the decorations set into the roof. Say decorations, I wonder if that's some type of pinning where they're holding the roof down. I just don't know. That must be access to bell tower, up to that trapdoor. Look, there's the bell ropes. This is so remote, but so lovely, well looked after. Okay, I've got the CCT page up. St Mary's Church, Seavington, Somerset. Overview. A pretty village church with a battlemented tower. I'll go outside and have a look at that shortly. St Mary's is built of ham stone with a battlemented tower. Originally 13th century, it was considerably enlarged in the 15th century and further altered in the 16th and 19th centuries. The oldest feature is a circular Norman font. Traces of medieval wall paintings have recently been discovered. Now back to the font. That's the oldest feature. It's Norman. And it's lead lined. Wow. Very simple wooden cover. This is a lovely, lovely place. Feels simple, but lovely. Really, really lovely. And this is leaving the church porch, walking back down. I'm just going to pan the camera back up to have a look at that tower. A battlemented tower. Probably going to have to walk around the church to get a better view of that. Again, being really careful not to walk on any graves. Can we get a better view of the battlemented tower here? Gosh. Thatched cottages. There's a battlemented tower. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. That's probably going to be the best view of the tower. Like the sun. Love this stone. And the lime mortar. Wow. A beautiful place. And that is a little garden just below with a seat where I'm going to have my lunch. How's that for picnic sites in October? Real sun trap. I'm just sat outside in the church garden, having a look around the church, having my lunch here. This is not bad for October, is it, cycle touring? Last night champagne, tell you a funny story, you might as well have a laugh at my expense. This is the sixth time I've been champing, and previously the arrangement has been a bit like an Airbnb. They tell you where the key safe is and they give you a code to get in and a point of contact number just in case of emergencies. But this time it was different. I was given a point of contact number and told to ring him a couple of days before just to give an ETA. And I spoke to him, sounded really nice, Paul. And he said, yeah, and I gave him a window that I thought I'd be there because I told him I was cycling. He said, yeah, sure, when you're there, just give me a call, I'll pop round. So I gather he lives quite close. So I got there within that window of the hour yesterday, and I called him and he said, yeah, sure, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Let me just take my Wellingtons off. So I assume he was in the garden. I went up the back of the church and sat on the seat just taking it all in. And this chap walked in, made a beeline, came straight up to me. I stood up and I said, hello, Paul? He said, yeah. I said, I'm Andy. Went to shake his hand. He stood back a little bit. And I went, oh, yeah, right, sorry, COVID. Sort of went to do the elbow. And he stood even further back. And I sort of said, you are Paul, are you? And he said, yeah. And I said, you come let me in? He said, no, I've come to do my allotment. And I started babbling on about, oh, no, sorry, I made a mistake. And then in the end, I just thought, shut up, you're just making yourself sound more stupid. At any rate, after he went, the real Paul came in then, And after we'd done all the security stuff and he'd showed me around, I told him that. And we had a bit of a laugh, and he said, yeah, it's only a small place, but actually loads of people are called Paul. His neighbour is called Paul, the bloke down the pub behind the bar is called Paul, the bloke who serves his car is called Paul. So yeah, that was a bit funny. This is that road then, just as you think you're leaving the village, just suddenly come to it here on this bend. What a delightful place. Anyway, onwards. Thoroughbare, the next church, and that's going to be 31.5 miles, again slightly over because of the detours I've been doing. This morning we passed through Ilchester, now we're coming into Ilminster. I saw a sign back there saying Taunton 10 miles, it's about 10 minutes ago, and the village we're heading for is Thoroughbare. It's where I went on my last Churches Conservation Trust trip. When I did 4 South Somerset churches, that was the last one of the day, and I just really want to go back, so I know what I'm looking for and where. And at the moment my Garmin says 29.5 miles done, and my route's saying about 31.5 miles. It's probably going to be more like 32.5. So we're homing in, and then after that the terrain should get much easier and the direction should change, and I should get the benefit of the southwesterly wind pushing me up towards Bridgwater. We said back there, Taunton 6 miles. That was a couple of miles back. Look at this. It's hard to imagine you're on the outskirts of a big urban area. I'm so looking forward to coming back here actually. I'll explain why when I get there. There is the church. I'm coming in from a different direction. I remember the honey-coloured walls from before. Oh, there you go, look, wow. Boy oh boy. And we're 33.25, so we're about 3/4 of a mile over with all the detours from earlier on. That's not too bad. Helps me gauge progress later on. There it is. It has got very warm this afternoon, so I love that honeycomb colour of the church. And there's a tower, there's amazing gargoyles up there. The reason I thought I rushed this last time was because it's the last church of what was quite a hard day. The afternoon had been quite brutal, going over the Quantocks, then over Exmoor, and I was probably a little bit dehydrated as well. And by the time I got here, when I looked at myself in the camera filming myself, I just looked like I'd come out of a sauna. And I sort of felt I had time to get to here, have a good look round, and then get to my train station, you know, for the train home. But this was up a dog leg, and then you had to go back. And like mentally, that's quite hard to deal with, because it sort of feels, oh, you're wasting time, you know, when there's a bit of a deadline. So although I said I wasn't going to rush this, I felt like I did a little bit. Right, let's go in. Oh, lovely and cool. I'm not sure what the timing is, I'll have a look in a minute, but it's certainly much earlier than last time. There's the main visitors table. Donate now, visitors book. 30th of the 9th. So what, that's 7 days ago from charge. And that'll be the bell tower at the back. There's all the bell ropes. Stained glass window. Warning, the step up through the screen is followed by a steep drop down. Oh, I see, yeah. That's looking up. Then the font there with a wooden cover. Pillars, pews, wooden pulpit, lectern, then 3 steps up to the chancel. Oh, there's a lectern. It just feels whenever you walk in the chancel, maybe it's me just mentally knowing it now, but it seems to be like a place for higher worship. You just get this impression you're walking into a different realm of the church. The pews there, and the altar, of course. That lovely stained glass window looking down, isn't it? That's looking towards the back of the church and the bell tower. I've got the page up. Let's go through it quickly. Said it quite a few times now, but if you scroll down each church page, you'll get further information, and most of these will come in downloadable form, PDF files. So I could download that. So it says St Thomas Church, Thoroughbar, Somerset. Dramatic tower, gargoyles. A 12th century church with two exceptional honey-coloured Norman arcades in the nave, with delicately carved capitals. Does that mean the capitals there? I don't know what that means. Does that mean the carved capitals? Right. The splendid 15th century tower is adorned with dramatic gargoyles, and there is a complete ring of 4 15th century bells from the Exeter Foundry. The route when I left Queen Camel this morning went along past Yeoverton, and then it sort of has been curling round in a kind of hook shape, and that's why it says some of that after lunch was quite hard going into the wind as it got hot. I was going up some grinds of some hills. We're just about to turn now, head up towards Bridgwater, but our last church is going to be at Sutton Mallet. When I did that Exmoor and Quantock ride with the 4 CCT churches, I said on that I could have gone to 5, but 5 was stretching it a little bit, and that's definitely the case because I wouldn't have got to that. I barely got to this really. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head up towards Bridgwater, but not directly towards it. I'm going to go to Sutton Mallet and then take a left westwards into Bridgwater for my train. Hopefully it's going to be a lot easier from now on because the terrain should be flatter, and also I should get the benefit of that southwesterly wind. Actually, gosh, look at that lovely timber beam roof and the bell tower. So dramatic bell tower with gargoyles. Let's go and have a look. Font. Lovely ecclesiastical shaped door. So a quick reminder, the splendid 15th century tower is adorned with dramatic gargoyles, and there is a complete ring of 4 15th century bells from the Exeter Foundry. You can see the tower almost looks like a completely separate part of the building, and there's the gargoyles. They are quite beastly looking actually, and there's a ring of bells in there. And this is the scenery. Hard to believe you're just literally a few miles south of big urban sprawl of Taunton, and you've got the big concrete slab of the M5 going from Exeter all the way up to Birmingham, not that far away. It's now 3:30 p.m. and I'm leaving St Thomas's Church at Thoroughbar, and I'm heading northwards to Sutton Mallet, the 4th of today's ancient churches, and then it'll be a short hop from there to Bridgwater and my train home. This is Borough Bridge, and it's where 2 Somerset rivers meet, the Tone and the Parrett. Just to the right of this bridge, you'll be able to see Borough Mump. It's a very impressive mound with that ancient church up there. It's a bit like a mini Glastonbury tour. I prefer Barnabus to Glastonbury tour. The river I just spoke to you was the River Tone. I know that because a couple came along, and this is the Parrot. So they've just met up here, and he was saying, I think when they meet, the Tone is no longer the Tone, they must just both be the Parrot. And oh, there it is. I was just going to say, you probably won't see Barnabus, but you can there, look, behind those houses. What a view. Oh, there's somebody up there. I saw some signs back there before I crossed the River Tone saying Bridgwater 8, Sutton Mallet is about another 8, and then we're turning to Bridgwater from there. About 4:30 now, and that's where I've just come from Borough Bridge. That's where I'm heading. The lovely, delightful Somerset levels, very pretty as you can see. And this is one of the many drainage channels cutting across it. You can see how it's managed there with the sluice. And there's one running up alongside the road and going off at 90 degrees. Let's see if I can zoom into Barnabus. It's a digital zoom, this camera, not an optical zoom, so the zoom is not great, but hopefully that'll give you a good idea. I love it down here. I know cycling friends who don't like the Somerset levels, it's just too flat, they say it's too boring, but I absolutely love it. You don't have to go too far before there's some hills. I always say, if you're born and bred in Somerset, the Somerset levels and cider is just in your DNA. You just love them, and I love both. Absolutely lovely late afternoon Somerset levels at this T-junction. There's wonderful place names, Western Zoyland and Middle Zoy. Wow, this is glorious. Just climbing off the levels onto some higher ground. You can see there, Bridgwater 7.25, Sutton Mallet 2. This is absolutely wonderful. Up on a slightly higher elevation, not that high compared to the levels. It says 51.6 miles done on my Garmin. So I guess we're coming into Sutton Mallet. So I'm looking for the church. Here we are, down in this little dip, Sutton Mallet. What a lovely little place. So we're looking for the church. It was signposted around here. I think that might be behind that wall. Is that it there? Yes, it's a church anyway. Yes. This then is the last of our 4 churches today. And this is the church of no dedication at Sutton Mallet. Now, I didn't know there was such a thing until I researched this trip. I thought all churches were dedicated to a saint, but clearly not. Lovely late afternoon. I just hope I can get in here. Please visit this historic and beautiful church. Yes, I want to. Let's hope we can get in. Yes. The first thing that strikes you when you come in, it's got that musty smell. Old wood and dampness. Gosh, look at that big crack down there. And again, this book is almost certainly available in download form on the app. I've got the app up actually ready, so I'll read that shortly. There's Visitor's Book. Raised gallery at the back. Box pews. Organ there. And quite a high pulpit. These are more of those very high box pews. My shoulder is about there, so my neck is, actually that's where my chin is. So, I mean, how do people see in there? I'm not quite sure. It's probably the reason for the raised pulpit, sure. Then, as usual, the step up to the chancel, a second step, a little bit of carpet, and then you've got the wooden partition there. There's the pulpit. Go and see if I can get up in the gallery. I'll stick all these candle holders. Oh, that's a nice use of the font. It's stone, but it's not lead lined. Probably the reason it's not covered. But it's got some flowers which look like they need a bit of watering in there. Some plants. Yeah, let's see if we can get upstairs. No, that's locked. I was going to go up in the gallery and have a look. Oh, this is really nice. It's a nice little community as well. First things first, it's just gone 5:30. I've got 2 hours. This is the church, no dedication, Sutton Mallet, Somerset. The overview. A landmark for travellers. In medieval times, this church was a landmark for travellers crossing the lonely and potentially treacherous wilds of Sedgemoor. Rebuilt in 1827 in a Georgian style by Richard Carver of Taunton, its interior is beautifully preserved and furnished with a lovely pulpit and box pews. An original medieval window that was reused can be seen in the small apse. I don't know what that means. That's right there. The last person to visit was yesterday from Westbury sub Mendip. But look at that. On the 29th of September, somebody came from NS Canada. Does that mean Nova Scotia? Lovely seat down right next to the wall, looking down onto the road. That's the church. As the sun's dipping down very low on my left hand side. How's that? That lovely golden weather vane up there. Let's have a wander around. Just gone 5:30. Probably got about another hour and a half of daylight left. That should get me into Bridgwater okay. Quite fancy fish and chips on the railway station before I get my train home. Look at all these mushrooms. Gosh. Those sheep being lit up by the sinking sun. My Garmin says 4.7 miles to go to the railway station. Looking south and looking at the sun soon be sinking down below the Quantock Hills. that's the way we're going. Then that higher ground up there, that's pretty much where the A38 is going to come into Bridgwater, and we're going to join it just before it crosses over the motorway. I know a fish and chip shop where I'm going to go in, get some fish and chips. It's about a mile from the station, and eat them on the station hopefully. 1.7 miles to go, look. Just better join the A38. There's even a cycle path over the bridge. How's this look? Chedzoy Lane. Straight after the fish and chip shop, you ride down the A38 literally to a roundabout, turn down a few side streets through these residential streets, and here we are, Bridgwater station. I've got about 40 minutes until my train, got plenty of time to eat my fish and chips on the platform. What a fantastic way to finish the cycle tour. The Chinese restaurant I go to, called The Ocean, does absolutely fantastic fish and chips as well as really good Chinese food. I got to the station about 7:05 and my train was at 7:40, so that gave me 45 minutes to just sit down and really savour and enjoy my fish and chips on the station. It was dusk just as the train pulled in at Bridgwater, and then it was a fast train ride up to Bristol Temple Maids, where I had about 25 minutes to wait for my local connection to Oldfield Park in my hometown of Bath. I really enjoyed the train journey, even though most of it was in the pitch black. Even the wait at Bristol Temple Maids just found very, very soothing and relaxing. Then I arrived back at home 9:05 in the evening. Hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this trip. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.